Ladies and gentlemen, this is Joe's Classic Video Games back with another cool pinball repair video for you today. We are working on a Williams Whirlwind pinball machine. You probably already knew that from the title of the video. We got this quite a while ago, and we've been working on customers' games and other people's stuff, and we just haven't had time to mess with it. But guess what? We're about to mess with it. So it's been sitting here folded up in our showroom for several years. We've had several people try to buy it from us. Our buddy James begged and begged to buy it, but we didn't want to mess with it yet because we had other stuff going on. And he finally bought one out from underneath us and bought one without waiting for us. And he has sent his board for us to test in this one because he wants to make sure everything's cool on it. But we don't even know what kind of shape this thing's in, really. So this is the condition that we got it in. Been sitting here like this. It's in pretty good shape. It's dusty and dirty, so it looks bad, and this looks bad, but it just happens to be the very top of the machine, which is the best place to look bad. And the front looks a little bad, right? The sides both look decent. So we're going to get a cart and set it up on the cart and pull the head up and finally get a look at what the playfield looks like. What do you think? Here we go. All right, folks, we've got her put up. What do you think, Joe? Should we just go ahead and plug her in and see what she'll do?
Well, I already know what's wrong with it.
What's wrong with it?
It's broke.
There we go. I'm going to edit that out. Okay, so we don't know what's wrong with it. There's some wires here that are exposed, but they look fine. So, luckily, we haven't messed those up. We have the two head bolts here. Notice I'm grabbing the only one Joey can reach.
Yep. It's taking me so long. I'm done over here.
And after I got it loose for you. All right. Make sure that back glass doesn't fall out, and I'll tuck these in as we go. Boy, she's beautiful. The Translite looks very nice. It's got the original display. Chances of that working got to be slim, Joe. What you think?
Probably.
All right. It has a Power Putt Kit instruction manual book in it. And it also has some tickets from Stevie's.
Good old Stevie's.
All right, Joe's going to slide the glass out. There's no lock bar. We're going to get into the tomb here. So that does not come with the game. That's very valuable. This is Stevie B's. It's from Stevie B's Pizza Buffet. So if you have any questions about where this thing was being operated, now you know. Okay, so the apron looks nice, and that is I'm glad about that. The flippers are missing. What's going on with that, Joe?
You know what they started doing?
Parting it.
Started parting it out.
Yep. There's the 3 spinning discs. The ramp here looks pretty decent, but except it's all broken off over here. We need a ramp, Joe. Big part of the ramp's missing. See the ball, it can't. Whew. See how it goes up that? It can't do that.
That's not good. Them ramps are expensive.
Yeah, they are. And then we got another smaller ramp over here that looks like it might be all right. We'll see. Now, we're not the type where we got to show them that. They have a tie down inside of it. What was that for? Why do you think they did that? We're not the type to buy ramps just because they're available. If it needs it, we'll buy it. But we don't buy crap just because we can. Which brings us to the cloud topper. We haven't decided yet if we're going to buy that. There is a crack in it. We might see if we can fix it up, or we might buy a new one. Okay, so it's missing the flippers at least. And it's missing the front part of the ramp, which I'm pretty sure you got to buy the whole ramp. You can't buy just the first part, Joe. All right, so we're going to pop up the playfield and see what it looks like underneath it all. So the inside looks pretty clean. The bottom of the playfield looks pretty good. And Joey said he thinks that the top of the playfield is going to clean up nice. For whatever reason, they have removed the flippers, but they make completely brand new assemblies for that. I think they might be laying on the bottom behind that playfield too. So I don't see anything major missing on the bottom. A lot of this stuff too was used in different machines besides Whirlwind, so you can buy replacements for almost all of that stuff. But all that looks pretty good. So I'm going to lean the table back forward a little bit on its prop and see if I can pull out all that stuff that's behind it on the bottom of the cabinet. Remember, it was sitting up the whole time, so everything fell to the bottom. All right, so we were able to get everything out of the bottom and the back. Most of it was paperwork, but did have both flipper assemblies. It appears the only thing missing from them is the bushings, which are like $1. So they took that out to change it the hard way. There's an extra shooter. I don't know if it's supposed to be red or black. We'll figure all that out. And then there was a whole bunch of quarters and stuff. Let's pick a random one. $19.95, Joe.
Buddy.
All right, so yeah, so we got a ramp problem. Obviously, we're missing. It looks like the lift ramp that lays over that part. The main ramp has a crack in it at the end, and the topper up here has a crack in it at the top. So that's what we're looking at so far. So we're going to take the back glass out and see what we're looking like in there. Here we go. We're going into the tomb. What do you think, Joe? Surely they didn't leave the batteries on there.
Hope not.
They didn't leave the batteries in there. That's good.
You like it?
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
You like what you're seeing?
Old school System 11 stuff. Soundboard. Yeah, it looks pretty good. I don't see a lot of corrosion or anything either. So you know what we got to do now? We got to plug her up. So we're going to plug her up and see if she works. All right, Joe's plugging her up. He's remarking that the playfield's going to clean up pretty nice. I think it is too. Looks pretty nice to me. I know it's pretty dirty, but other than that, I think it's going to clean up pretty good. So Joe's going to try plugging her in. Turn her off. All right. Try it one more time. Okay, give it a second. Adjust failure because the batteries are dead. Factory settings. Install factory. Pinball is missing. Woo! All right, so whenever we first turned it on, you heard what happened. A coil locked on. Then we turned it right back off. And then we turned it on again and the coil did not lock on. That's kind of common. You get stuff like that. So there might be a problem with it booting up where sometimes the coil locks on. We'll have to look into that. But it says pinball missing. If I can get it to ignore that. There we go. All right, so obviously it's in rough shape, but the coils are working. You heard the coils, right? And the lamps are working. And at least some of the switches are working because I've been using the switch on the playfield. I mean the coin door. Coin switch is working. All right, so that's cool. Sound is working. Working game, Joe.
We're looking pretty good, actually.
About ready to ship her out.
Our displays are pretty nice.
Yeah, the display looks pretty good. You jinxed us.
What?
There is a segment. There's a couple segments missing on the top display, but that might be fixable.
Well, I thought it looked pretty good.
That one and that one are missing. But we'll get into that on a later video. So I think the first thing we need to do, what do you think, Joe? What do we want to do first? We want to do the playfield first?
I think so.
Because that way we can see what all we need and order what all we need. Since it's up and running, Joey can tell that the lights are working while he messes with it. And that might be a good thing. Yeah, there's a couple segments missing on that display. We'll figure that out, though. That could very well be, I mean, that could even be a bad connection on the ribbon cable or something. But we'll see. Okay, so yeah, I think we'll have Joey go through the playfield and get it cleaned up. I don't know that we'll get it completely, well, yeah, we might be able to finish it because we can order the ramps and stuff that we need. So very cool. But yeah, we got good bones to start with at least.
everything off the playfield that I'm going to take off anyway. You can see it's filthy. So this is what we're starting with. I'm not so sure it's ever been cleaned. One of the reasons we don't do a lot of these, we call them newer pinballs. Obviously this is from the 90s, but to us it's new. You know, we're used to working on EMs and stuff from the 70s. There's just so much stuff going on. It takes you forever to figure out where each post go, where the wires go through. There's just a lot more stuff going on, more ramps, and it's just much more time consuming. I think we could do 3 or 4 of the older ones and the time it's going to take us to do this one. And there's a lot more money involved. We've already ordered about $600 worth of parts for this thing, and I haven't even got started yet. I'm sure there's going to be more stuff I got to order. See, I got stuff spread out all over that pinball. I got stuff spread out all over here. I got this big ramp. I had to buy a new ramp because this one was just so discolored. I'm sure I could have got some of that clean, but my main problem was this ramp, and it was kind of drooping down. I think it got hot. And you know, you can't really just replace one ramp on these. It wouldn't look right. One would be all yellowed and one would be nice and shiny. So we went ahead and bit the bullet. I got that ramp, and I bought a new topper so far because this one's cracked and it's all yellowed. But we'll get into that later. I've got it boxed up over there. I'm going to unbox it here in a little bit, but we're going to start cleaning it. Does anybody know what we're going to clean it with? That's right, we're going to clean it with a Windex. Here's my Windex. You didn't believe me? And you can't get any Windex. I'm going to show this to you. You're going to think I'm crazy, but it's true. See, this is the Windex you get at like Walmart. And it says original. That's all it really says. But then look at this one. Commercial. Now I know what you're thinking. Oh, come on. Come on, Joe. Now you're just making up stuff. I'm telling you, the commercial works better. You get it at Lowe's. It's got to have the commercial up there. And you can even kind of tell. I've had like centipedes before with nicotine and stuff all over it. And I've tried to spray this on there and nothing happens hardly. But you spray the commercial line on there and you can just see it all just start falling down the cabinet as soon as you start spraying that on there. And you can even kind of tell. See how that's kind of more of a light blue? That's watered down. They done watered down that Walmart version. But anyway, that's just a little trick for you. Only buy the commercial. Special delivery. Starship Fantasy. He's got the ramps and the topper. Hopefully in this box. Haven't opened it yet. So we usually get a lot of this stuff from Marco. And Marco actually had the ramps and the topper. But this place, they were half price on the topper. So we ended up saving over $100 ordering it from this place if you needed the ramps with the topper. I think the ramps were about the same price at Marco, but since we needed the topper, we just went ahead and bought everything from this guy because and he refunded some of the shipping. So I think we're still about $100 ahead here. We got a few minor things we still got to order from Marco, but I think we're still going to come out ahead. Hopefully everything's in here. We'll get peanuts all over the floor. So there's our brand new topper we needed. You know what was wrong with the other one? Does anybody know what was wrong with the other topper? Yep, that's right. It was broke. Right here. And here. So that's that. See what else we got. That's that back ramp that we needed. Ours was real yellow and it looked like it got real hot. It was kind of melted looking. So that's nice. He's already got the switch bracket on there. I was hoping he'd do that because I didn't want to have to rivet. I didn't want to have to drill out the other rivets and rivet this one back on. So that's going to save me a lot of time, looks like. So that's looking good. So far so good. Here comes Big Papa. That's awesome how he's got all the metal pieces already on there for me. It's going to make it look pretty nice. I'm pretty happy with this so far. We'll see how it goes. So that's that one. And I think there's supposed to be a bunch of stickers and stuff in here for the ramp too. That's for the topper. Got all the little decals for the ramps too. That guy's got other parts too for other machines. What I liked about him too is he charges you the actual shipping. So you got to pay a bunch for shipping up front, but then he actually refunds you quite a bit back once he actually figures out the real shipping price. Well, I think that's everything. I get to use all these peanuts too whenever I ship stuff out. You know, those peanuts are expensive. But anyway, I'm going to get back to trying to put all that back together on the pinball. I do a little bit at a time because there's so many parts. I get confused. Anyway, back to the pinball. got the playfield cleaned up pretty good. I got most of it back on there. I had to make an order for a couple slingshot plastics from Marco, and I haven't got those in yet. And I ran out of 3/4 inch white rubbers. I had to get some of those. Here's my old slingshot plastics. They're pretty rough. They sell new ones, so I went ahead and ordered those. So next up, I've got to do my ramps. So here's my old ramp. Here's my new ramp. You can tell the difference in the color. So all I've got to do is I've got to unscrew that switch, take off those black spacers there, and then I have to do the same with this switch over here. I'm just going to move them over to my new ramp. It's got all these stickers that you've got to put on there too. I went ahead and put this decal on there. So that's pretty much all there is to it. I'm going to move everything over from that ramp, and I'm going to do the same thing with the other ramp and get it all installed. Progress update. I've got that back on. I've got the back ramp back on. It went pretty smooth so far. Had to zip tie those wires back to the ramp how they were. Had to unsolder this, move it over to this one. I'm kind of winging it right now. Ronnie usually does this type of thing. So I'm going to move on to the bigger ramp. It's going to take me a lot longer because it's got all these little flashers on there. I'm going to have to move over. It's got switches here. I already put my stickers on my switch covers. So I gotta unwrap this and start tackling that, but I'll be back when I get that done. Alright, I got everything switched out. Can you tell which one's new? So you may be wondering why we didn't even attempt to clean that ramp, and we just, went ahead and ordered brand new ramps. Well, we had a couple issues, but our main problem was we needed this lift ramp, which hooks to that ramp right there, and it goes up and down and lets the ball go underneath it. So that piece was totally missing. And on our old ramp, it's cracked pretty bad there. And that's where it bolts. So we couldn't just buy this, we needed the whole ramp. I'm sure you could have made something work there, but a new one was available, so we went ahead and bought it. Also, I don't know what happened with this ramp. I guess it got really hot or something. I don't know if you're going to be able to make this out in the video. See this new ramp? And there's the old ramp. Well, it's kind of melted over sideways. It's not as tall as it's supposed to be. It's got lots of issues, actually. I don't know if you can see that. It's all bumpy. It's like it melted. So this guy does a really good job on these ramps. Ronnie says he makes them. I'm not sure. I assume that he does. And he included the little switch covers, all the little stickers you need. Everything lines up perfectly. But anyway, that's why we had to order that ramp. And we didn't really want to just order one ramp, because, you know, if you got it right next to the other ramp, you're obviously going to be able to tell. Here's kind of a comparison. That's what it would have looked like. So there's our other ramp I've already got installed. I can't put that other ramp on yet because I had to order these slingshot plastics, and that ramp mounts right here and it bolts in right over top of that slingshot. And I'm waiting on a couple rubber rings that I ran short on. So we'll get all that mounted on whenever we get our package from Marco Specialties, which I'm sure we'll probably get Monday. Today's Friday. I don't know if you noticed in the video, I kept messing with these here. I finally figured it out. They had that one in the wrong spot and it was throwing me off. And it looks weird. That looks like it's upside down, but that's just the way it goes. I looked at several pictures online. That's how it's supposed to be. Ronnie usually does a lot of that type of stuff, but he's out of town this week, so I'm kind of winging it. I'm trying to get a good jump on this because I kind of already sold the machine and I kind of need to get it to the lady, so I'm kind of under a time crunch. So I want to kind of get a jump on it, and whenever he comes back, I'm hoping he can work through the boards and get it all finished up. I can't really put the topper on yet because I haven't seen that fan move yet, and I'm not so sure it'll come all the way through the bottom. But anyway, that's not going to be no big deal. I'm going to hold off on that till Ronnie gets a little bit further down the line here. But I'll be back whenever we get that other stuff in, and I'll show you what it looks like.
All right, folks, I made it back. This is what Joe got accomplished while I was gone. Now keep in mind, this is just preliminary stuff. We're getting the playfield, the major stuff out of the way. We haven't even done the light bulbs yet. We haven't tested anything yet. It's just the ramps had to go. The playfield had to be cleaned. Still a lot of work left to do to it. So I think we'll end it here. This has been a long video so far. And on the next video, we will start in on the boards in the back box. So if you like these more modern games, these are modern to me compared to the stuff that we usually work on. So if you like this vintage, this era of games, we have worked on some of them, so check it out. I'll put up a video here for you, but we will see you on the next video in this Whirlwind series where we'll start working through the boards. So see you then. Hope you enjoyed it. Make sure to give us a thumbs up too.